Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing today? Yes, it is Sunday. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? I hope y'all doing very well. Hit that like button as you coming in. Hit the like button as you are coming in. We got a lot to talk about. Donald Trump, he got booed today at the U.S. opening. Yeah, he got booed real bad. Hello, King Allen. How you doing, baby? How are you? I hope you're doing very well, Alan. Let me fix my chair. Whew. Hello, Queen Victorious One. How you doing, beautiful? Hello. I'm just getting in, and I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go live. I don't have anything else to do because once I get off here, I'm just gonna lay around and watch television. I just came in from eating dinner. Whew. Hello, Queen Sweet Lady. Let's eat. Hello, King LaSwan. Hello, Queen Janet. One moment, y'all. Let me turn my iPad on. Okay, we'll get started in just a moment. As you guys are coming in, please hit that like button. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We are talking about Donald Trump and still talking about the Epstein files. Donald Trump doesn't want us talking about the Epstein files, but we will not stop talking about the Epstein files until he's out of the Oval Office. And when he's out of the Oval Office, I am still going to talk about who? Epstein. If you like to become a member, there's two different types of memberships. You have the Rubies membership for $4.99 and the Diamonds membership for $9.99. Also, you could donate to my channel. You can send me super chats and super stickers. In my description is my Venmo. If you have Venmo and you want to bless me, send me something through Venmo. Also, in my description is my PayPal link. If you want to bless me through PayPal and you have PayPal, do me some justice, baby. How y'all doing? Hello, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're talking about Donald Trump. He's bringing our country down to his knees. Trump trying to claim he was never informant, but that is not what Mike Johnson just said yesterday, Trump. So you're going to have to own it. And his autobiographer, that was also Epstein's autobiographer, said that Donald Trump was the one that turned Epstein in. So Trump, make your mind up. Mike Johnson said you told him just that morning, less than 24 hours, that you was an FBI informant and you were helping them get Epstein. Wolf, your autobiographer, said that you was the one that turned over information on Epstein because y'all had a falling out. And you thought he was going to be coming after you, so you got him first, huh, Donnie? That's how Donald Trump works. He's not a good man at all. He's a buffoon. One moment, we're going to begin started. Hit that like button as you are coming in, everybody. Please hit the like button, please. Those of you just coming in, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We're talking about Donald Trump. Everything that has to do with Donald Trump. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because he sure is ugly. Just a moment, please. We're going to be getting started. Hit that like button, everybody. Thank you. So Mike Johnson first said that Trump was not an informant. Now, Mike Johnson is now trying to backpedal and ussy pop after he has made that statement. So we're going to see what this is about. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my live. I'm Queen Lillie. We are talking about Donald Trump. We're going to go through some things again. Hit that like button as you come in because it is free. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. We're talking about Donald Trump and his stooges and all his F up he's doing to our country.
We have some news right now. Mike Johnson is backing off his claim that Donald Trump was an FBI informant, seemingly admitting that he lied about that, saying that he made a mistake and that essentially Trump is not an FBI informant. That's not surprising. This is the first time we had heard of a claim that Trump was an informant helping
Wasn't
the
my
FBI
first time hearing it.
Epstein. It's not true. And I'm really not sure where the Speaker of the House got that from, given the fact that he's literally the third most powerful person
Trump
in
told
the
him
American
that.
government, and said such an outlandish claim without anything to back it up. It even surprised the White House. According to Rolling Stone, the White House and administration officials were completely perplexed as to where Mike Johnson got this claim from, because it just isn't true. But it's not surprising that Johnson is now backing off on a claim that he made that Donald Trump was this heroic informant to help the FBI stop Epstein. It just didn't happen. So spread the word. We'll do a full breakdown of this and more on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come soon. We have some news right now. Mike Johnson.
Everything I show you on my live is fair use, great for educational purpose, great for research, and great for entertainment. But we're doing research. Aaron Partners is one of the best to have ever done it on YouTube. But I'm going to disagree with him, because I heard Wolf say that Donald Trump went to the FBI and put the FBI on Epstein, and that's how Epstein got arrested. So Aaron may not remember that's coming from Wolf. I'm sorry, but I remember that. Wolf said that. So Mike Johnson made that statement. Now he walking it back. What kind of cabinet does Donald Trump have? His administration, they all over the place. How can you trust an administration that says one thing, then come back the next day and tell you it's something totally different? That's not what was said. But Mike, you said that Trump told you that morning. You said less than 24 hours ago that Donald Trump told you that he was an informant helping the FBI get Epstein. Y'all see what I mean about Donald Trump? I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Donald Trump probably told Mike Johnson that. I don't doubt Mike Johnson. But when somebody as old as Donald Trump at his age, he's not remembering what he told Mike Johnson. I do not believe Mike Johnson made that up, y'all, because I know old people. I've been around enough old people. They would tell you one thing and say they didn't tell you that. Donald Trump is old and crusty. His brain is old and crusty and rotted, like his body is decaying. He's senile. Well, let's move along. Now we're going to listen to Donald Trump get booed at the U.S. opening. And we're going to listen to several of those because people post different videos, y'all. And I loved every minute of Donald Trump being booed today. Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. This is from Don Lemons. That boy got booed today. Nobody likes Donnie. Why don't he just jump in the casket, let them kick his casket in the hole, and just throw dirt over him for us? Please, we're tired, America. He's got to go. He should be booed. So let's listen to these beautiful queens right quick. I had it up to here, podcast.
Trump is a nut. So he escaped from the old folks' home to call into Scott Jennings.
And I do bring a unity to the Republican Party. Do you know, almost every single person I've endorsed has won.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone who hasn't. If I endorse a person, they win. And I do well in the elections, too. I don't want to put that down, because with the Republican Party, it's like 399-0. Think of that. And many of those are insurgents.
What about a fact check, Scott? Well, that's not. Scott Jennings is the top propagandist that's outside the inner circle. But imagine that you're so emasculated as a man that your number one job with Donald Trump is the exact same job as a person that works on a porn film called a fluffer that keeps the penis erect. Right. And that's what Scott Jennings does. Oh, you're 90% popular. Oh my God, you're 399 and 0. There's nothing masculine about this. How obsequious he is to this
Trump
man's
is a beta,
fragile,
not an alpha
ego.
I love those ladies. They really cracked me up, and they said what's on their mind. I like that they don't mind speaking up. They're not scared to drag him by that crusty, nappy toupee on his head. Just drag him all up and down the street till he get his whole knee skin up. Drag him. So we're going to listen to some more about Donald Trump. And this is how I feel about him. God, come get this MF right now. Take him and throw him in a casket. Just throw him in there. He got to go. God, he old and crusty. Just take him on. He's hurting the American people.
That, darling, that's fake news. I don't got to worry. Listen, be quiet. Listen.
That's how he talked to her.
Never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense. You say that, darling, that's fake news. I don't got to worry. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen.
Let me tell y'all something. The way he talking to that lady is pimp talk. Do y'all not recall what he said when he was on Air Force One and they questioned him about Epstein? He said Epstein stole some of my girls. Pimp talk. Listen to me. Pimp talk. I'm going to play it again and let you listen to what he said to this woman. He talks to women like he's a pimp. He does not respect any woman. Definitely not a black woman. But I want y'all to listen again to what he's saying to this woman and think back what he said on Air Force One. Stole some of my girls, okay?
Say that, darling, that's fake news. I don't got to worry. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense. You say that, darling, that's fake news. I don't got to worry. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate.
This man, Donald John Trump, is old as Methuselah. He see now he needs to be in a nursing home. He should not be over our country. America's in trouble. Do you not hear how this man is talking? That's something that an old crusty man that should be in a nursing home talk to people. And that's somebody that make me think they're a pimp or have been a pimp. That don't mean you're on the street corner. No, that's not what pimping is. Pimping can be somebody that's working at the bank and doing it's over X trafficking. Most people that's over X trafficking, they're sitting somewhere in high positions. Some of them be senators, doctors, lawyers, judges. They be involved with X trafficking. This man cannot be trusted. Think back when he was on Air Force One, what he said. Epstein stole some of my girls. You can't steal a person unless you're doing something illegal from the beginning. Donald Trump can't be trusted, America. Donald Trump is a danger to the American people. Someone please come haul Trump away. This next video, that's how I feel about what's being said in this video. Haul this MF away. He's delusional. The dude is illiterate. Donald Trump is illiterate.
On groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based
Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to read in a moment, okay?
And I won on groceries. It's very simple.
Something is wrong with this man, y'all. How did he not know we know to use the word groceries? He may not have ever been in a grocery store, but we have, middle class and poor. And the middle class is poor right now. Yeah. This man really think he's teaching us some vocabulary. What the F is wrong with these people? How did he get voted in there? He's so dumb. Thank you, King Marvin Gibbs. Thank you for the super chat, my love. Thank you for blessing me. There's no way that this man should be running a country. Groceries. You know that word, groceries. I came up with that word. You didn't come up with that word, Donnie. You sound stupid. Queen Jasmine Crockett.
They all deserve to lose their seats. I mean, at the end of the day, we swear an oath to the Constitution and we swear to serve and to protect Americans. And right now, as you just had a conversation about this administration that is not attacking enemies, but has decided that it wanted to be an enemy towards its own American people, this is yet another attack on us. And what type of precedent is it setting? What is it telling those that are suffering right now as victims as it relates to our elected officials? It says that so long as you have enough money and or power, then you will be protected and not the most vulnerable amongst us. We are talking about people that were children. You played a clip of Miss Farmer who talked about her as well as her sister that were abused in the 90s, and they reported this, and unfortunately nothing happened to the extent that we had survivors that were giving us testimony as late as 2008 when he was absolutely supposed to be incarcerated in Florida, yet he was still somehow managing to abuse women. We have to stand up. I don't know who's in these files. I don't know if they're Democrats, Republicans, or independents. I don't know if they're donors to any specific campaigns. I have no idea. And honestly, it just doesn't matter. What matters is about doing better for not only these women, but for future generations. I think they all deserve to lose their seats.
When Epstein was in the prison, the jail rather, he got to go out and leave the jail and do work after he have SA teenagers. But they didn't put the crime on him that he really should have been tagged with. They got him for saying he just paid for prostituting. You know what I'm saying? I can't say the word on here. Epstein got off scot-free, and Pam Bundy was part of the people that helped him become scot-free and did not get the charges that he should have had tagged to his name. The man trafficked women, young girls. The man had sex with young girls. But Acosta didn't want to tag him with that. I think somebody had to be paid off for him not to be punished the way the law should have stuck it to him. And what does Donald Trump and Pam Bundy and Cash Patel do now? They give Ghislaine Maxwell the opportunity to be in a low security jail when that is not where she should be for her crime. And Donnie may still give her that pardon after the survivors have spoken, because Donald Trump is not a kind man. He's slime ball. He's from crime mob. He's running a mob in that White House right now. The White House was once respected. America was once respected. But under Donald Trump, no other country respects us now, because that slime ball is making our country go down the drain. Donald Trump is a rat. He's no good for this country. He is destroying America. Oh, no. That's translated in Spanish. I apologize. So this is another view of Donald Trump getting booed today at the U.S. opening. Nobody likes Donnie. Like everybody hates Chris, everybody hates Donald Trump. He's getting booed. And he's clapping while he's getting booed. Donald Trump is a special kind of illiterate. Donald Trump is a special kind of illiterate. He fooled MAGA like he's a businessman. Donald Trump is not a businessman. Every business he had to file bankruptcy. That's not success. In his first business and anything else he done, his daddy gave him money to do it. So he is not self-made. Self-made is somebody like me. I didn't have parents. I grew up by myself. I paid my way to go to college. I had to fund my own businesses. Donald Trump never funded his own businesses. And once his father died and he blew out his daddy's money, what he done, he got connected with the Russians. And it has been said it was a Russian mob. And anybody fooling around with Putin ain't nothing but a criminal. Donald Trump been a criminal, but he finally got tagged with it because a brave woman that's black, Letitia James, took him and gave him the name he needed, criminal. Donald Trump has 34 felonies, America. Remember that. Remember who you voted into the Oval Office, a criminal. You knew he said grab him by the PUSS. Why? You knew he had essayed so many women, 20-something cases of women. But what does the white people do? The racist ones, they vote a man in that they know is no count for this country. You have no soul. Anybody that voted for him, you have no soul. You too have destroyed America. So right now, what does MAGA do? They are targeting Marjorie Taylor Greene right now. MAGA is targeting Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't trust the woman, but I don't think MAGA should be targeting her. They're mad with her because she's defying Donald Trump. Finally, she got a backbone. But do I trust her with this backbone? No, because she'll backslide quick. She's a MAGA. So it says MAGA demands Marjorie Taylor Greene be immediately expelled from Congress. But you mean to tell me Donald Trump has essayed women, but you don't want him expelled? Really? Really, MAGA? Are you kidding me? You prefer a man that take advantage of young girls, allegedly, and have been criminally found that he has essayed a grown woman, more than one. Donald Trump has essayed over 20-something women. But you want Marjorie Taylor Greene gone. Are you kidding me? Where's your backbone, MAGA? You want Marjorie Taylor Greene to have a backbone, but you don't have one. You're spineless. You're trash. You are trailer park trash. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she's trailer park trash too. I don't care how much money she has, but she does not deserve what MAGA is doing to her. So MAGA, world has announced that they aren't just finished with Marjorie Taylor Greene. They want her immediately removed from the House of Representatives. Greene drew the ire of MAGA this week by joining Democrats to demand the full unredacted release of all the Epstein files. And she criticized certain parts of the Trump administration in the process. The same thing in the process, I apologize, I skipped a line. MAGA isn't having it at all, even though they want the same thing she does. You can never please MAGA. A cult could never be pleased. It has to be destroyed. You have to infiltrate it the way Donald Trump has done MAGA. So we're going to listen to something about Trump, and it says Trump on his Wharton degree, super genius stuff. Yeah, because he called himself a super genius, but you're going to hear from people from there. Donald Trump is no genius. He's dumb. So Trump, you are a dumb, rich, mediocre white man, dude who is a compulsive liar. Take a listen, please. One moment.
But I'm proud of my. Hey, I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a really good student.
He's
I
lying.
went to an Ivy League college. I was
Lies. Listen to him.
I did very well. I'm a very intelligent person. Everybody knows what a great school it is. Look, if I were a liberal Democrat, people would say I'm the super genius of all time.
They wouldn't. Donald Trump, in his typically modest fashion, bragging in no shortage of degree about how smart he is and also his educational bona fides. But the Washington Post, they did a deep dive into his academic career, and it is not nearly as impressive.
Hit the like button, please.
Post. They spoke to an admissions officer who was there at the time, named James Nolan. He says the acceptance rate in 1966 was at 50%, and it was even higher for transfers like Donald Trump, who went to Fordham first. Nolan also told the Post he was not impressed with Trump's intellect. Quote, I certainly was not struck by any sense that I'm sitting before a genius, certainly not a super genius. Nolan also said, quote, it was not very difficult to get into Wharton at that time. The article also points out that Trump was not one of the top honorees at graduation.
He lied.
On the dean's list, plus Trump is, of course, refusing to release his transcripts. This classic Trump won't show his transcript, but he said this tweet in 2012 asking to see President Obama's academic records, saying, quote, isn't it time that Obama releases college records and applications? Boy, would that create a mess. He's not who you think. Now, a year earlier, Trump, he had this to say about Obama.
He was a terrible student.
He lied on President Obama.
He went to Occidental. I heard he was a terrible
student. He was a Harvard graduate.
Okay, I heard he was a bad student. How does a bad student then go to Columbia and then go to Harvard? How does this happen?
Trump thinks that black people don't have education. Black women are the most educated in this country.
The Washington Post, and Andrew sat down with him earlier today.
Michael, you've done some terrific reporting on Trump and Wharton. Before we get to the details of what you found, I'm curious, what was your motivation for doing this investigation?
Well, Donald Trump has said for years that he is the top student at Wharton.
He
He
lied.
said he's the top student at Wharton. Whenever people has questioned his intellect, he's referred to getting a degree at Wharton, said it was the hardest school to get into. So essentially, I wanted to see if that was true and find out what exactly happened in getting into Wharton.
I know that an admissions officer at Wharton that you spoke with said he certainly didn't think that Trump was a genius, but he also knew the Wharton's acceptance rate was, at the time, was over 40% of the applicants who applied got in. I'm wondering if the implication in this piece is that Trump might not have gotten in without help, or that his acceptance by Wharton should be taken should not be taken as proof that he's as intelligent and as good a student as he claimed.
Right. Well, by Trump saying it was the hardest school to get into, I wanted to see if that was true. It is not the hardest school to get into. When we think of Wharton today, you might think of the graduate school. This was the undergraduate school of finance at the University of Pennsylvania. So also today, to get into University of Pennsylvania, the acceptance rate is 7.4%. It's an Ivy League school. It is very hard to get into. At the time Trump went to University of Pennsylvania in 1966, the acceptance rate was more than 50%. It was not that difficult to get into by any stretch, certainly compared to today. And he was a transfer student. He'd already done 2 years at Fordham in the Bronx. And those transfer students usually got in much easier than freshman students. So part of it was an effort to see if it was true what Trump said in saying it was the hardest school to get into, since he refers to this again and again. So I was able to track down the admissions officer who reviewed his file, and he remembered the case very well. And he did tell me that this was not a difficult school to get into. Trump has claimed that getting into Wharton shows he's a, quote, super genius, quote unquote. The admissions officer said he didn't think he saw a genius sitting in front of him. That's a very high bar. So it's Trump's own standards that I was looking at, not some random look. I mean, he had set the bar very high, saying it was the hardest school and there was super genius stuff to get in.
And of course,
he definitely wasn't a genius. I'm going to show y'all his grades.
Creation that factor in here as well. He's refused to release his college transcripts. In fact, Michael Cohen testified that he threatened Trump's schools with legal action if they leaked the grades.
Well, it got leaked because I have it.
President Obama's school records. So how uncommon is it for a president not to release their scholastic data?
Well, scholastic data is not something that typically has to be released. Some people do release it. I've done stories about candidates who've released their transcripts. It's really the onus here is on Trump. He challenged Obama in 2011 to release his college transcripts. He said he heard, quote unquote, that Obama was a, quote, terrible student, and then he challenged him to put the records out. So having said that on Obama, and given the story we just described that I wrote about Trump, it seems fair to ask, would Trump release his own transcripts? He not only has refused to do that, but as you mentioned, his lawyer told the colleges during the campaign that they would be sued if they did release the transcripts.
That let you know he's dumb as a bag of rocks, illiterate.
They would do so. So the lawyer going to them really wasn't necessary, but it underscored how Trump didn't want those grades for whatever reason to get out.
Well, then let me ask this from the other end of the telescope. Can you recall an elected official working this hard to keep his or her college grades a secret?
Well, I don't know if you can compare anybody to Trump for a whole host of reasons, but I will tell you an anecdote. I covered John Kerry's campaign back in 2004, and there was a controversy then about should John Kerry release every bit of his military records. He did eventually release a lot of his military records, but the one thing in those records that he did release, he later did release after the campaign was over. The only thing that was missing from his records were his college grades at Yale, and they weren't that great during a freshman year, as I recall it. Some D's in there, in fact. So he did put that out after the campaign. He was thinking of running again. He wanted the question to go away. So it does show you that there's a great sensitivity there by some candidates about how their grades will look. What's different here is that Trump has said he's done so great, hardest school to get into, super genius stuff, said he'd heard he was first in his class. None of that was correct as far as the being the hardest school or first in his class. In fact, the dean's list of 56 top students does not include Trump's name. So clearly he was not first in his class.
Michael, do we know if he got any help from his family?
Donald Trump is a compulsive liar.
Wanted to go to Wharton and did not get in, but Donald did. You would think if the family was helping, they both would have gotten in. Do we know if they helped? Do we know if the family?
He got in because his father's money.
Grease the skids.
I looked at the financial contribution records. They don't show any check contribution during those years, but some of them are anonymous, so I can't conclusively say they didn't contribute money.
His niece said his father paid him.
Important to understand here, which is that,
and his niece said Donald paid other people to do his homework.
Brother was the admissions officer who interviewed. James Nolan was best friends with Fred Trump Jr., who was the admissions officer in the story. So he called up his friend saying, can you interview Donald Trump to get into Wharton? And his friend said, sure. And his friend gave Donald Trump a rating that was probably good enough to get in. And then his supervisor, who did not interview Donald Trump, did approve his admission. So that's another part of the story that I tell.
Final question, Michael. If anybody checked my transcripts from college, they would not be flattering, and in my mind, would not really be a good indication of the man or the professional that I've become. I'm wondering if you think we should give Trump the same benefit, and what your takeaway of Trump the man and Trump the president was as a result of you looking into Trump the college student.
Well, the point here is that Trump is the one who set the bar high. I don't doubt that you're a great news broadcaster, notwithstanding whatever grades you might have gotten, and a lot of people do great without getting great grades. Some people drop out of college and go on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. So that's not the point. The point here is that Trump has said it was the hardest school to get into. It wasn't. And he said that he heard he was first in his class, and he wasn't. So there was an effort to basically check all the things that he has said, because he brings up his Wharton background time and time again.
And the piece is a terrific read. Job well done. Michael Kranish is the national political investigative reporter with the Washington Post. Michael, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Subscribe to the Washington Post. Y'all, do y'all want to see Donald Trump's grades? Because a lot of my people here have seen. This is the thing. Anything can get leaked, y'all. Anything can get leaked. Oh, Donnie. He's good at being a con man, but he's not smart in school. Me, a poor black woman, I have a higher IQ than Donald Trump, and I will be willing to test against him. See, Donnie think if you got money, that means you're smarter than everybody else. That doesn't mean that, Donnie. It doesn't mean it at all. Your vocabulary is very low, and your grammar is horrible, like your wife. One moment, I'm going to show y'all Donnie's grades. I got his grades, baby. Donnie is not an intellect. He's dumb. One moment, please. This is your pappy, MAGA's pappy's grades. Let me see. Why is it looking blurry on here? Well, anyway, I'll show y'all anyway. Y'all may be able to still see it. It looks blurry for some reason. That is weird. Okay. Can y'all see it? Let me know. This is Donald Trump's when he went to Fordham University. That's Donald Trump's grades. So MAGA, MAGA, your leader is dumb. MAGA, can you hear me, MAGA? Your leader is dumb, MAGA. Donald Trump is a dumb man. He brags and says he was top of his class. Not. He said he's a super intelligent person. Not. He said he's the smartest of his class. Not. He claims to be the best president ever. Not. How many more knots you need before you wake up, MAGA? You're going to be left behind. Get off the short bus. And I'm going to show you this to refresh your memory since I have this particular folder open. Donald Trump is all over the Epstein flight logs. And Donnie said he's never been on Epstein's plane to his home. Donnie, you're on his flight logs. This is just one of them, one of the sheets from the flight logs. Donnie is illiterate and he's a compulsive liar. And how did he trap MAGA? I'm going to show you this and I'm going to read it to you. This is what Donald Trump had to say about you Republicans. Donnie Boy said, if I were to run, I run as a Republican. They are the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they would still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific, said Donald Trump in People Magazine. Hair in my mouth. One moment, y'all. People Magazine, 1998. He thinks nothing of you, MAGA. He uses you. He sell you gold sneakers that's trash that cost him $4 to make and sell them to you for hundreds of dollars. He sell you a Bible that cost him $1 or $2 to have made He sell a Bible to you for $59.99, rounded up to $60. You pay $60 plus tax, 64 and something probably. MAGA. You're dumb, just like your leader. That's why it's so easy for you to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. He been sticking that banana in you real good and you liking it. Those men, y'all liking it, ain't you? You like to be bent over and taken advantage of. You're sick. Take it in the bun. That's what the MAGA men do. Okay. All of RFK Jr.'s kids are vaccinated. Because, you know, why would Donnie put this man over health when he sounded like he got gonorrhea in his throat? But anyway, all of RFK Jr. kids are vaccinated. He's just okay with you not being vaccinated, yours not being vaccinated. So a man that has his family getting vaccinated is telling the American people they don't need to be vaccinated. I didn't get the vaccine. No. I refused to get it. I worked on a TV show that was requiring us to get it, and I wouldn't get it. But what I would do 3 times out the week, get tested for the 19, and I never had it. So RFK is not the picture of health. He's wrinkled like an MF. I've never seen somebody at his age that's wrinkled that bad. You take a black man that's his age, he's going to look much younger than RFK. RFK looked like a prune that's 10 years old. And he sound like he got herpes in the throat, a gonorrhea in his throat. Do not listen to that man. Donald Trump don't know how to pick the best. His picker off. Even his other picker been off. He married a ho and a Merry Christmas. He married somebody that got news all over the internet. So his pickers is off in every way. So this right here says, Donald Trump said, this is something that Hitler has said. And Donald Trump repeats everything that Hitler says. He thinks that the American people are so simple and dumb. But we're not all MAGA, so we're not dumb, Donnie. So Donald Trump says, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Who else said that? Anyway, Chicago about to find out. This is Donnie. I'm going to read it after I show you. This is what the rat mouth man said. That's what he posted on his True Social Twitter. Donald J. Trump said, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called Department of War. Well, Donnie, let me tell you about the people in Chicago. Even the law is ready for you there. The governor is not playing with you, Donnie. Everybody ain't going to bow down and kiss your ring, piss pot. I'm not scared of you, Donnie, and I'm a woman. I said it to your face and wouldn't be scared if you had security around. Everybody not scared of a man that wears a diaper. I laugh at you because you wear a diaper. Why President Joe Biden may be sick with cancer, but he ain't walking around with cankers and wearing a diaper. And he sure hell ain't got on a damn girdle, Donnie. And he ain't wearing hair pieces. You take your ass on over there to Chicago. But see, the thing is, Donnie ain't going to go. He'd rather send people and let them get blasted away because Chicago is not going to be afraid. Take yourself the way you promised the J6s you was coming down there. You a coward. You're a pissy coward at that, Donald Trump. He speaks Spanish. Sorry, you guys. Everybody don't speak Spanish. So we're going to hear something about J.D. Vance. Yeah. Fancy pants. They used to drag queen dress. Yeah, him.
J.D. Vance got called out on Twitter for lying about the Venezuelan boat the Trump administration attacked for no reason, and look at his response. It's absolutely chilling. So he originally says unaliving cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military.
Why Donald Trump's son has a habit.
Another nation who are civilians without any due process is called a war crime, which he's absolutely right. Then J.D. Vance shamelessly says, I don't care what you call it. Yeah, that's right. This administration commits war crimes, and they don't care what we have to say about it. Who do they think they are? But what's even worse is all of the brainwashed Trump supporters who are saying, I voted for this best VP in history. Here's the reality of the situation. So they attacked a Venezuelan boat, and they claimed it was cartel members. Except there's no proof of that at all. Independent reports have confirmed there was no evidence these people were cartel members or smugglers. They were fishermen, civilians, just normal people trying to survive. And now they're not here anymore because of this reckless, trigger-happy approach that J.D. Vance is bragging about. That's not tough. That's not patriotic. That is called committing a war crime. There's no other way to put it. You can't just unalive people of another nation without trial, without evidence, or without due process. That's not only immoral, it's illegal under international law. And the Vice President of the United States is just shrugging this off, saying, I don't care what you guys have to say. What he's really saying is that human lives and international law mean absolutely nothing to him. So J.D. Vance got called out on Twitter for lying about the Venezuela.
J.D. Vance is just as ignorant as Donald Trump. Well, he has more education than Donald Trump. He does. His IQ is higher than Donald Trump. That's why I don't understand how they can follow behind a man that's low IQ. I'm not going to be following behind a dummy. I can't do it. Why would you follow behind a dummy, JD, when your education is higher than his? But JD is racist too. Just because he's married to a brown woman does not mean he's not racist. He is highly racist.
Got to see this video. So farmers in Arkansas have gathered together and they're praying to God because Donald Trump is literally
Donald Trump screwed the American people.
They can do.
They voted for this, remember? Anybody voted for Trump, you voted for this.
It's so
yes,
sad.
You can. You voted for a fool.
Destroyed by a billionaire who doesn't care about anything but making himself richer. Under the Trump administration, multiple different programs set up by Biden to help support small and regional farming have been froze or cut. For example, the USDA's Regional Food Business Centers program. It was meant to boost local supply chains through grants and support, and now it's been terminated. Farmers who were approved for this funding and expecting to get it still have not got their money. They've been left stranded. The Trump administration has cut over 600 USDA grants. These programs benefited farmers, sustainable agriculture, and food security. Organizations across rural America lost funding, forcing them to lay off staff and abandon projects. All of this funding has been cut while the big beautiful bill boosted crop insurance and subsidy payouts, of course benefiting larger industrial farms and hurting the small farms. Put all of that together and it's no wonder Arkansas farmers are praying. They've not just lost support, they've been set up to fail. You guys have got to see this video. So farmers in Arkansas have got...
I'm going to be honest. I have no sympathy for them. Anybody that voted for Donald Trump, I have no sympathy for you. So if you're suffering, that's on you. Y'all didn't want a black person. You're intimidated by the black energy, that melanin that makes us smarter than you. You're intimidated by it. Kamala Harris, high IQ. Donald Trump, low IQ and bad genes.
About how the white church in America worships death instead of Jesus by sacrificing black and brown bodies on the altar of law and order. Hi, I'm Colton. I grew up a Pentecostal pastor's kid, went to school to get degrees in historical Christian theology. And when I say they worship death, what I mean is they've submitted themselves to the policies of mass incarceration, police violence, and state power as if they were the will of God. There's an American writer, attorney, and civil rights activist named Michelle Alexander, who wrote an incredible book called The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. And in this book, she shows that how after the victories of the civil rights movement, that America didn't end the racial state. Instead, it just reinvented it. She shows how politicians, especially Nixon and Reagan, needed a way to roll back black freedom without sounding openly racist. That's where the law and order rhetoric came in. Crime became the new code word for race. And the machinery that enforced this was the war on drugs. Alexander shows how it gave police the opportunity and license to sweep through entire neighborhoods, stopping, frisking, and arresting people, and essentially funneling black men into cages for nonviolent drug offenses at wildly disproportionate rates to white people, even though drug use is about the same across races. So what essentially happened is that segregation gave way to incarceration. Instead of seeing signs that say whites only, we got a criminal justice system that locks up black people at rates so high, it resegregated entire communities. America actually found another way to exile black men from society by calling them criminals. Alexander calls this the new Jim Crow, not just because prisons exploded in size, but because once you're branded a felon, you lose all the same rights that black people lost under Jim Crow. You can't vote. You can't serve on juries. You're shut out from housing, education, and jobs. One conviction, even for something minor, marks you for life. Today, more black men are under correctional control than were enslaved in 1850. See, this isn't a broken system. It's a system working exactly as it was designed. So now let's talk about where the white church fits into all of this, because they gave this system its blessing. Instead of challenging the injustice, it preached obedience. You hear Romans 13 ripped out of context in churches across America and turned into a divine endorsement of police and prisons. These churches have found a way to make law and order sound like the gospel. They've replaced visiting prisoners with Back the Blue Sundays. There's an American theologian named Kimberly Brown Douglas, whose accolades and positions of prestige are too many to name, but she's currently an assistant visiting professor at Harvard Divinity School. In her incredible book, Stand Your Ground, Black Bodies and the Justice of God, she shows how white... Let's talk about how the white church in America worships.
White church, Paula White. White church, Donald Trump. He living at the biggest slave plantation ever. The biggest White House in the white church ever. Donald Trump has a cult. And the congregation is MAGA. But black people is not going to fold, or we're not even going to kiss the ring. We don't been through so much. We know how to survive anything. We have pow-pows too. But we rather walk in the love of God and love on you. But if you come for us, we coming for everything in yours. So from the archives of You Can't Make This S Up, S-H-I-T up, Mike Johnson just claimed Trump was an FBI agent. Remember, he said FBI informant. Tasked without taking down Epstein. So he wants us to believe Trump did this while having private parties with young girls with Epstein for decades. But we find out today who walking it back, Mike Johnson. He said that's not what he meant yesterday. Can we trust anybody in that cabinet? Damn, they all fuck ups. So, 30 plus years of SA abuse. The known victims of Donald Trump. I'm going to read you off and tell you what year it was. Because Donald Trump been SAing people. There ain't nothing new for that criminal. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and I'm going to read the list to you. He should have thousands of mug shots, as much as damage Donald Trump has done to women in this country, maybe even children. So Jessica Lees, 1980s. Kristen Anderson, 1990s. Jill Hart, 1992. Lisa Boyd, 1996. Mariah Bilodeau, 1997. Victoria Hughes, 1997. Kathy Heller, 1997. Temple McDowell, 1997. Karina Virginia, 1998. Bridget Sullivan, 2000, year 2000. Tasha Dixon and others, 2001. Mindy McGalloway, 2003. Rachel Crooks, 2005. Natasha Stornoff, 2005. Jennifer Murphy, 2005. Juliette Huddy, 2005 and 2006. That's when she was SA'd by Donald Trump. Jessica Drake, 2006. Nene Layson, 2006. Samantha Holby, 2006. Summer Versos, 2007. Cassandra Searsless, 2013. And the list goes on. And MAGA knew a lot of this already. But they voted a fool in 2016, 17. Then they voted the fool in again, 2024. Yeah. And they knew a lot of this. So MAGA, you are everything that Donald Trump is. You are SA abusers as well. Oh, and there's plenty of y'all being arrested right now for it. Children, taking advantage of children. When you watch the news today, who are the people that's getting arrested for SA children? MAGAs, the Republican Party. So Epstein files are real. This was a hoax. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That ear thing, it was a hoax. But the Epstein files are real, MAGA. That bandage on his ear, well, it wasn't anything wrong with Donald Trump's ear. Old as he is, there's nothing healed on that body. You can look at that hand and tell if that hand hasn't healed, that ear wouldn't have healed. Not on that rotten piece of meat, Donald Trump. He's stale. It was just kept molding. He's a fungus. He's a virus. He's worse than bacteria. So Trump threatens members of Congress. That's what he does. When he can't get his way, he have a temper tantrum and start threatening everybody. Ain't nobody scared of Donald Trump, but you weak white people.
Trump emitió un comunicado hoy.
It's in Spanish. I apologize, but y'all know exactly what I'm saying. Ain't nobody scared of him. Just that weak MAGA Republicans. Now some Republicans getting the backbone and MAGA mad about it. They mad at Marjorie Taylor Greene. So this is another person that voted for Trump. And he worried about the gas prices and food and all. We all worried about gas prices and food. Donald Trump has fucked everybody.
Mr. Trump, Mr. President, help us out. It's been almost 6 months and you still ain't bringing gas prices down, Trump. Why? But promises you made, promises you're not keeping. Yes, Trump, please hear her cry. I've supported you 3 times. I voted 3 times in 3, 6, 9 years, Trump. Gas is higher now than it was when Joe Biden was in office, Mr. President.
My advice to you is to take that hat off, walk into the convenience store that is right next to you, grab a box of matches, grab a thing of lighter fluid. You're going to need extra lighter fluid because that hat is from China, so it's probably covered in fire retardant. You're going to find your nearest burn barrel. You're going to take the hat off, throw it into the burn barrel, cover it in lighter fluid, strike a match, watch it burn, because, buddy, you've been lied to. I don't know how many times that we have to tell you this. The economy, inflation, it's influenced by a nuance of things, most of which are out of the president's control. But the one thing that you can do to make it worse for everyone here is blanket tariffs. That is what Donald Trump ran on. That is what you voted for. The price of everything is increasing as a result of it. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we had the lowest jobs growth in history. You can't even call it a growth. We're at a job loss at this point, man, since like 2009, 2010. This is because of the tariffs and you voted for it. My name is Mercedes Taylor. Give me a follow.
Subscribe to her YouTube and follow her on Instagram. And it's just everybody that's online complaining. They all MAGA, walking around with his stupid hats on and complaining about the food prices and everything. But you voted for it. The farmers voted for Donald Trump. And there you go, struggling. All of your fruits and vegetables are just dead. He don't give a damn. So I'm going to let y'all listen to this. And this is overseeing the downfall. What I'm about to show y'all is about Donald Trump. Overseeing the downfall. Yeah. One moment. Just a moment.
So I think that the useful thing about Trump is that he can package the dismantling of American empire as the building of American empire. Before the military-industrial complex is the American government, which is extremely constraining for them. That's very limiting for them. Asset management companies, they don't have that restriction. So yes, this is the faction that Trump represents. And you'll see that all of his policies serve that faction. I've said this before. You have to look past all of the MAGA rhetoric, all of the nationalist rhetoric, because all of that is all just a camouflage for what will be the shrinkage of America on the global stage and what will be the ransacking of the U.S. economy. It's like if a snake oil salesman was selling cyanide instead of snake oil. That's what Trump is doing. Like, for example, okay, I've already talked about how his energy policy, how that puts the U.S. on a path to energy bankruptcy, not self-sufficiency. And it will only strengthen OPEC, by the way. But also look at withdrawing from the WHO. Okay, American pharmaceutical companies and healthcare providers, insurance companies, and so on, they're expressing concern and disapproval for what he did, for pulling out of the WHO. But who benefits from that? The beneficiaries are going to be all of the so-called emerging economies, emerging markets, and their healthcare providers, their pharmaceutical companies, their insurers, and so forth. They're hindered right now by patent protections, by regulatory restrictions, and policies against, especially against generic drug production and so on. India and China, for example. This is very important for them. So this is actually the sidelining of America. And of course, the same is true, of course, obviously, with tariffs. You know, basically everything that Trump proposes or promises or wants to do, all of it amounts to shutting America off from the world and directing everybody elsewhere, you know, telling all business to go elsewhere. The only place he approaches with open hostility, you know, from a policy point of view, the only place he approaches with any hostility is Europe and other Western countries, other allies. I mean, he might be serious about trying to take control of the Panama Canal. He might be serious about that. But I think that mostly has to do with just confirming that America is only going to be interested in having influence in the Western Hemisphere, in the global North. But I mean, even that, okay, even that, when you weigh the cost of maintenance of the Panama Canal, management, staff, security, and so forth, repairs, and on and on, everything that America would have to spend in order to control the Panama Canal, well, the net profit is barely going to be $1 billion annually. That's assuming that the trade flows through the Panama Canal remain as they are, which, given Trump's obsession with tariffs and his obsession with alienating global business from doing business with America, it seems likely that trade through the Panama Canal will actually decrease. So frankly, taking control of the Panama Canal will most likely end up costing America considerably more than they'll ever profit from it. It's the same with Greenland, really. You know, I mean, given how disruptive and how alienating it would be for America to actually force Denmark to sell them Greenland, you know, plus the amount of investment that they would have to put in, the initial cost and the investment of taking over services and so on inside of Greenland. Even with Greenland's natural resources, the U.S., I think, would be lucky to break even. I mean, that's if we take it seriously in the first place. Like I said, nothing Trump says should ever be taken.
Denmark is not taking Donald Trump seriously in any form. I don't even take him seriously. I laugh at Donald Trump from head to toe. That deformed body, nobody takes him seriously. Every country is laughing at America. Only one that listens to Donald Trump and believe him is MAGA. So this is the devil's due. Trump is the devil's due. We're going to take a little listen to some of this. We're not going to listen to all of it, just some of it.
No, the hypocrisy is breathtaking. The hypocrisy is breathtaking, honestly. No one is on your side. Understand this. You have to know this. Whole continents at your hands is going to ricochet back onto America. I said you're cursed.
Donald Trump is cursed. He's cursing America.
That's the truth. We both know this. Because you can't have any sort of religious sense, any religious sense of justice, and not know that. Even if you call yourself a Christian, if you call yourself believing in God in any way whatsoever, you cannot pretend that you don't know that America is cursed, and it has been cursed ever since you all landed over there in the first place and started massacring the indigenous people and stealing their land. What your Zionist brigades are doing to the Palestinians right now is just a fraction of what you did to the Native Americans. What Hitler did was a fraction of what you did, in fact. And you really think that you were going to be able to escape the consequences of that? Of course not. Obviously not. Why do you even think for a minute that you could escape the consequences of decimating
the wealth that's coming for white people? I feel sorry for y'all.
That you would get away with that. Wallahi, to even think that you could get away with that, to even think that you would never be held accountable for that is blasphemy. It's blasphemous for you to think that you could get away scot-free. Especially when you have never even done anything ever since then, except to compound the wrongdoing and to add to your record of crimes. You understand me? You have done nothing to atone. You haven't done anything.
There's a wrath coming for MAGA.
You and I both know that.
God is going to tear you down.
Genocide, chattel slavery, rape, torture, lynching, murder, dehumanization, discrimination, segregation, exploitation, subjugation, war all around the world. Well, what sort of a God do you worship that would turn a blind eye to all of that? What kind of a God did you have in mind when you say God bless America? Because I know you're not talking about the God. I know you're not talking about the creator of the universe. Bless America for what? Bless America for what? If you did what you did and then say God bless America, that's just another blasphemy. Well, you're taking the Lord's name in vain when you say God bless America. That's the truth. You can't invoke God to bless what he has prohibited. You can't invoke God to bless what he punishes, to bless what causes his wrath. You have been worshiping someone else entirely, something else entirely. You have taken a whole other being as your God. If you actually think that your actions merit any sort of blessing, no one would bless what you have done as a nation except Iblis. No one would approve of what you have done except for the devil himself. That's why I told you that, and why you need to know. You need to understand this about your society. The West has been worshiping the jinn. They've been worshiping the shayateen ever since prehistory, like I said. And that formed the whole character, the whole ethos of their so-called civilization. You can't properly understand the West if you don't understand that. Honestly, you can't be dismissive about that. Like I said last time, this is in fact exactly why they're almost the only people in the whole world who pretend that the devil doesn't exist. They're almost the only people. They're the only people. The people in the Muslim world, the people in Africa, the people in Latin America, the people in Asia. Everyone knows this is real. Even in places like Russia and China, after decades of state-imposed atheism, most people there even also still accept this reality. Different people in different places call the jinn different things, sure. Demons, ghosts, fairies, spirits, whatever the case may be. But we know the reality. We know the reality of the unseen. But your so-called civilization insists on denying it. Exactly the same way that they denied everything else that's true about reality, that's true about themselves. While their denial is conspicuous in this way, it's a protective, defensive denial. Because no one else is more closely aligned, in fact, and more subservient to the shayateen as much as your society. So that denial is part of what is expected of you. That's part of the cover-up that is expected of you. And that's just par for the course with you, because anyway, you cover up everything already as it is. Now listen, again, I'm not attacking you. Understand me. Please understand me. If your house is on fire and I come to tell you that your house is burning and you need to get out, are you going to get defensive because you think I'm insulting your house? Use your mind. There's a poison gas leak in your building, and your building manager is trying to tell you that everything is fine, and I'm trying to tell you that it's going to kill you. You tell me which one of us, me or that manager, cares more about you and more about your welfare and your well-being. Don't get mad at me. Well, I think that the gas has already gotten to your brain. If you can't think
it
straight
got to
enough
MAGA's
to know
brain.
that I'm trying to tell you something for your own good. Look, I'm telling you, there is no way to escape the consequences. Okay, I didn't do this to you. Your ancestors did this to you. Your own ancestors did this to you. Your ancestors and your leaders today, your media today, your schools today. Like I said, recognizing and acknowledging the reality of what your ancestors really did and what they really were, and yes, who they really worshiped, understanding that is just the first layer. And as soon as someone accepts this reality, that layer, they just accept that. Then they'll jump immediately to, well, how do we make a change? I'm not like my ancestors. Isn't that good enough? How do we make a change so that we can avoid these negative consequences? Because they haven't accepted that second layer, that most important second layer, which is that the consequences cannot be avoided, cannot be evaded, cannot be resisted, and cannot be defied. The punishment is already underway in America. And like
Amen.
I said,
it's on the way.
At least one element of that punishment is madness. The society is being driven into madness, just like the syphilitic monarchs of your history. I don't even mean this metaphorically. No, I'm talking quite literally. The society is going insane. I mean, look at any old film clip. I don't mean old Hollywood movies. I don't mean that. I mean, like, look at old interviews, old footage of people talking, like, in, say, the early 1900s, for example. Listen to them. Listen to how they talk. Listen to the clarity and listen to the sobriety of their voices and their facial expressions. Now open TikTok. Open Instagram. Or if you took someone from 2025 and you send them back to 1925, no matter what they were talking about, everyone would think that they are drunk. Everyone would think that these were mad people, unhinged, unstable, volatile, wild people. Even 50 years ago, they would have that impression. You know that according to the previous mental health standards, at least half of the American public today, at least half would be diagnosed as mentally having a mental illness or psychological disorder. I mean,
honey, if he ain't hit the nail on the head, because MAGA is really mentally ill. Racism is a mental illness. To be racist is to be mentally ill. But that don't excuse you for lynching black people in trees. That don't excuse you for what you did to my ancestors. It don't excuse you. A wrath is coming to this country. Y'all can sit there and worship Donald Trump all you want to. That wrath is coming. Your people got to pay for their great sins that they have done to other people. Donald Trump hate every other race except his own race. He going to pay a price for it. If God have to destroy this whole country, you is going to pay a price, MAGA. Your race is going to pay a price. The wrath is coming. I'm not worried about it because I know I'm going to heaven. The wrath is coming. You're going to be destroyed. Somebody's going to pay the price for what they did to my ancestors. Donald Trump is paying a price now. I bet he's seeing all kind of black slaves, women around him. Because when you get older and you become senile, you start seeing things that you wouldn't normally see. And at night, the ancestors ain't letting that fat pig sleep. He up all night on Truth Social and Twitter. He's scared to go to sleep because my ancestors at the bottom of that bed beating his ass. And that's why he's swole. They don't beat his ass all through the night. Donnie ain't going to sleep. He's scared. Get him!
Debemos poner América primero.
Oh, that fool don't speak Spanish. That's moved into translation of Spanish because y'all know Donnie dumb. He don't even know Spanish. That's why he mad with all the brown people because he can't speak Spanish.
Fascist Donald has a game, E-I-E-I-O. And in this game he screws the world, E-I-E-I-O. Terrorist here is a terrorist there. Here's him, there's him, everywhere scam, scam. Fascist Donald has a game, E-I-E-I-O. Fascist Donald plays a game, E-I-E-I-O. And in that game he crashed Wall Street, E-I-E-I-O. Stocks much here, bonds much there, economy plunging everywhere. Now we never can retire, E-I-E-I-O. But we will not put up with that, E-I-E-I-O. We won't kowtow to that cat, E-I-E-I-O. We're here today to sing this song and tell the nation Trump is wrong. Enough of Donnie and his games, E-I-E-I-O. He has got to go.
Donald Trump has to go. I don't care how he go, but he got to go. Take him, Lord. Just take him. Throw him in a casket and put him in the ground right beside his first wife. No tombstone or nothing.
This new viral video may have just exposed what is really going on with Donald Trump. You have to watch this video till the end.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal.
He's so dumb.
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior
He's
recently
dumb
in someone
and
you
little.
know?
No
Someone who
IQ.
mixes fiction and reality?
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
Low
He's a
IQ.
wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable.
And that's who they
Of
worship.
course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal.
Some say it
and
may be
temporal
syphilis.
lobes of
I
the
don't
brain
know.
That dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for. like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous.
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
This is the thing. Donald Trump's father had dementia, frontal dementia. Donnie, more than likely, in my opinion, I believe Donald Trump has frontal dementia because all those outbursts of what he, like I showed y'all, the lady, the news reporter questioning him. He started talking to her like a pimp talk, real hateful and mean. That's because more than likely and allegedly, he has frontal dementia like his father. Remember that ugly man that made the ugly boy Donald? Trump, this is why you don't want the Epstein files released. Trump is low vibrational. Take a listen. Wait a minute. Let me read this. It said Trump made over 4,725 wire transfers to Jeffrey Epstein, totaling $1.1 billion using Russian banks. This is why he doesn't want the Epstein files released. The criminal Donald Trump was wiring Epstein money, but he used Russian banks. It's traceable, Donnie. They got that part. Now release the true unredacted files.
Trump is in the files. Trump is in the files. No matter what he says or does, Trump is in the files. The Epstein files. The Epstein files. Distraction action just won't work. Trump is in the files. He's feeling pretty scared. He's feeling pretty scared. He knows we will not let it go. Trump is in the files. He is a pedophile. He is a pedophile. He trafficked and abused young girls. Trump is in the files. We must see everything. We must see everything. We can't believe his evil regime. Trump is in the files. Trump is in the files. Trump is in the files. No matter what he says or does, Trump is in the files. Trump is in the files. Release the Epstein files.
Even the grandmas want you to release it, Donnie. These are some older white women. Everybody wants the real Epstein files. We don't want anything redacted. We don't want the Epstein files with all the horrible MAGA Republican men been touching young girls been redacted. You criminal, Donnie. Where you got the Epstein files? Down in your pamper? This is AI, but this is funny. What I'm about to show you is AI, but it is so funny. We got to get our kicks and giggles in sometimes.
It's a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. This is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy.
You know what I feel like saying when I see that, Donnie? Sucker. Sucker. Your mouth is probably familiar with it. You can tell how you hold your mouth. Like his mouth is held like a a-hole. And then the rat teeth. Oh, I can't stand this man. He's been ugly all his life. Donnie is just he butt ugly. Donald Trump is butt ugly. Feminine looking in that photo. Y'all want to watch it again and get a good laugh. He's butt ugly. Been ugly all his life. Just ugly. And he's fat and funky. Better not alpha at all. Better not alpha at all, y'all. Sweet thing. That's Donnie is to me. Sweet thing. Sugarfoot. So we're going to watch this right here. And it's in celebration of burning the MAGA hat. Hold on, we can't play the music, but watch this. This is in celebration of setting the hat on fire. Burn it. Burn, baby, burn. Burn it. Destroy it. I can't wait till that whole cult is destroyed. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. This is what's going to happen when Fat Boy get to hell. Burn, baby, burn. So we see Fat Boy hat getting burned, but let me show you what it's going to feel like for him to go to HELL, okay? Burn, baby, burn. Fat Boy is going to HELL. Yes, he is. Fat boy. Satan is waiting for you. His lawyer servant. Satan's waiting for you, MAGA. Burn, baby, burn. I can't wait till Satan grab Donnie up. One moment, please. Just a moment.
Satan, we're gonna tear
this is
your
AI.
kingdom down.
I gotta play that again. I can't wait till they grab Donnie up. Take him.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Donald Trump, when he coming down, his regime can't last forever. Look at Hitler. Burn, baby, burn. So, Donald Trump is expected to ask the Supreme Court to reverse the $5 million E. Jean Carroll ex-abuse verdict. This is not normal. The president is asking to have an ex-abuse verdict reversed. Donald Trump wants something all the time. Anything he's done, he thinks he can erase the history of his sins he committed against women. That's not reality, Donnie. I don't think they're going to reverse that. And you owe her. Pay her her money. You brag about you made all this money and all the billionaires you helped since you've been in office. Pay E. Jean Carroll her money. Uh-oh, hold on.
It's up to...
So, let's see what this is about. First, I don't remember what this is about. Oh, I already showed y'all something about the U.S. opening. Hold on.
When you look back, and what do you think your biggest mistake was?
Hit the like button, please.
I wish I'd never met her. Because I didn't know. He was so awful. I mean,
she's talking about
obviously,
Epstein.
looking back with hindsight, of course.
Do you consider yourself a victim of Jeffrey?
Well, I don't love the use of the word victim.
She's not a victim.
But clearly,
she would get out there and find girls and take them to him.
Spent time with him and knew him has devastated my life and hurt many people that I love and hold dear that are around me.
Do you feel safe in jail? Do you feel safe because there was threats on your life? So do you feel safe?
Oh, well.
Yes, I feel safe. I would not know. I don't have any safety issues.
Because as you told me, jails are sometimes dangerous, and Jeffrey Epstein died in jail. Do you believe that he committed suicide? Because many don't.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered.
When you look back and...
She said she believed Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. You know what I mean? That's what she said. I wonder, do the Orange Man have anything to do with that? Because he was the one in the Oval Office at that time. And he didn't want all his bad deeds to come out. Because if Epstein would have testified, I'm sure he would have been telling no Orange boy. He didn't want to go down by himself. No, dog, no. Be sure to subscribe to 60 Minutes on YouTube and follow them on Instagram as well. Trump, you fix your rat mouth to degrade Black children. A vast majority probably have a higher IQ than you. Just roll out the casket and take them, Lord. This ugly, fat, stinking pig keep talking about Black people the way he's talking about them. Don't talk about our children anymore, because those children probably have higher IQ than you.
They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals.
Look how he hold his mouth. He used to put something big in an eggplant.
And I want to speak directly
I bet you Donnie can suck it too, real
hear me
good.
loud and clear. Do not listen to what Donald Trump called you yesterday. When the president from the Oval Office calls you natural-born killers, children who are born to be violent, I say this: I respect the office, but I will never honor ignorance. To our children, you are loved and you're needed. To our children, we believe in you and we invest in you. To our children, we love you and we are going to honor every God-honored potential that you have. To our children, there's nothing we won't do to keep you safe. To our children, we love you and we are going to make sure that you are never bullied. And I don't care what position they hold. Because I want to be clear.
They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be
That's what Donnie had to say about our Black children. Well, Donnie, I tell you this. I bet they won't have 34 felonies. I bet they ain't going around grabbing them by the PUSSY and thinking it's okay. They're not going to young teen girls' dressing rooms without knocking on the door. That's what you did, Donnie, because you're a pervert. You're nasty. Look at that mouth. Donald Trump's mouth is so gross. His body is gross. His entire being is gross. Oh, I can't stand looking at that man. He just, oh, he makes my skin itch. He's gross. He's nasty. Just nasty. Low IQ, low vibrational, all of the below. Texas Kirk County Sheriff Larry Lethal has endorsed Gavin Newsom for president and Jasmine Crockett as his VP. He did a 180 after his family was saved from the Texas floods by a Mexican rescue team. And he was once a MAGA. A lot of them waking up, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And look at this. This is so stupid. Secretary of War. Donnie want to be Hitler so bad, but it didn't turn out at the end good for Hitler, baby. You know, like Jim Jones had those people to drink that red Kool-Aid. He gone too, boo. So will you. Take them, Lord. I'm praying that you take them.
Rearrange the letters on the department sign. A formal name change would have to be approved by Congress. According to a White House fact sheet obtained by CBS News, the Trump administration argues that the term Department of War,
as soon as he out there, they need to change it back.
Readiness and resolve reflects its unmatched power as the strongest
Donald Trump is ghetto
fighting force in the world.
Donald Trump has started ghettoizing the Pentagon. He don't make the White House ghetto with that old cheap-looking gold mess all over the place, all over the doors, all over the walls, at the fireplace and all. Just cheap trailer park trash. That's who Donald Trump is.
Say to people who say, you know, in your trauma, everything that happened, it's a hoax.
It's so nice to get asked that question quite a bit. I mean, have they talked to us? I mean, do they actually want to listen to us? Have they talked to, you know, the survivors? Have they talked to me? Have they talked to my friends? Have they talked to our lawyers? I mean, it's just absurd.
How do you feel about the administration possibly toying around a pardon of Maxwell in this day and age, and even meeting with her earlier this year?
I mean, it's kind of like a slap in the face for all the survivors. I mean, it's means that they would rather talk to a woman that is not a reliable narrator, who is a convicted criminal, and they find her, I mean, how do you even say this? They would defer to what she has to say over us.
What do you say to people who say, you know, in your trauma, everything that happened?
And to me, it's not even what people say. It's what Donald Trump says. Donald Trump said it's a hoax. What Donald Trump, we know was not a hoax. Your black heart. We know was not a hoax, that rotten body of yours. It's so rotten that the decay is coming from within the inside, baby. You're rotten, Donnie. You no good, you no good, you no good. These are the churches in D.C. that's against Donald Trump. The churches in D.C. are ringing their bells against Donald Trump. It says, wow, churches in Washington, D.C. are ringing their bells in support of the protest against Donald Trump. Baby, the Christians want you gone, boy. Want you to pack up your things, Donnie boy, and go. Just go. Nobody likes you. Go away before you go away like the Jim Jones and the Hitler. Those are the people you idolize. You started a MAGA cult. They're now a terroristic group. It's not safe in America with those crazy people. J6ers. So right now, the Democrats hold polling average leads in the 2025 races. And I'm going to show you. For example, New Jersey governor, a Democrat, it's two of them running. But right now we have Mikey Sherrill in the lead. But I ain't even going to show you all of this, but the Democrats are really taking over right now. Hold on. It says the latest at the Real Clear Politics averages show Democrat candidates ahead in both New Jersey and Virginia gubernatorial races. In New Jersey, U.S. Representative Mickey Sherrill leads Republican Jack Cattell by 8.8. She's beating that person. She's a white queen that's a Democrat, Queen Sherrill. In Virginia, former U.S. Representative Abigail Spanberger, Democrat, leads against the incumbent Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, a Republican. And she's leading by 6.8%. So right now, because of Donald Trump policies, MAGA, You Republican MAGA people, y'all getting kicked out, baby. We don't want you. Your own Republicans are voting you out, baby.
Hey, so let's talk about what Speaker Mike Johnson just disclosed to the public and the press earlier tonight. He said that Donald Trump told him that he was an FBI informant on Epstein, which has not been made public and is weird as fuck, because you would think that Trump would have talked about that to grandstand on it, right? And the timeline also doesn't match up for that at all for it to make any sense. But here's the thing. I think Mike Johnson might have just inadvertently confirmed something that Jeffrey Epstein told biographer Michael Wolff.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago, Michael Wolff made a
Yep.
video about how Epstein and Trump had, like, what their final falling out was.
Remember, I showed y'all that video.
Epstein told him, I think it was Trump who dropped the dime on me to the police. And the reason behind that was because Jeffrey Epstein was going to get back at Trump for buying this house that he really wanted in Florida out from under him. He was going to report Trump for money laundering, in short, because Trump bought this house out from under Epstein, and then less than 2 years later, he sold it to a Russian oligarch for like more than twice what the
Money laundering.
And at the time, it was crazy because the Russian oligarch had never seen the house before. He was going through a divorce and
Hit the like button, please.
Assets around, really sketchy, and that is a red flag
Thank
for
you.
money laundering in real estate. And Epstein had it on Trump, and he threatened Trump with it. And he said, "You piece of shit, I'm going to report you for money laundering." And it was only then that Trump reported Epstein, because he knew what was going on at Mar-a-Lago the whole time. And
He was in on it. If you let somebody come get young girls from there, you are in on the gig.
So anyway, in short, Trump's not a good guy. And it seems like Epstein was right. Trump just didn't want to go down for money laundering. He doesn't give a shit about survivors or victims. And he knew about this the whole time. The only reason why he reported it to the police or whoever, apparently, if this is true, was, to save his own neck. So on brand as always. But yeah, definitely check out
Always on brand when it comes to Trump.
And also look up that real estate sale in Florida, because there's tons of articles about it from like way back when it happened. But yeah, that's what's in those fucking files that he would admit something like that.
What's in those files? What did Donald Trump put in his first wife casket that made that casket so heavy? Because they had her cremated. Ashes are not heavy. They had 10 people carrying her casket. So what the real FBI, not Cash Patel and Pam Bundy, the real FBI need to dig up his first wife's grave and look in that casket. This right here, what I'm about to show y'all, it has Donald Trump written all over. It's the fact it's a black woman. Black people take heed, and listen to me, black people, and you brown people too. Take heed, because Donald Trump is coming for us. Take heed. The big fat bully think we scared, but we ain't never scared.
We have some serious news this evening. The LA Police Department has stopped providing security protection to former Vice President Kamala Harris. She lost her Secret Service.
It has Donald Trump written all over it.
And now the LAPD, after facing significant backlash from the union, the police union, decided to pull back its protection, saying that Kamala Harris could afford her own security, essentially. Remember, none of this would have happened had Donald Trump just allowed Secret Service to continue protecting her, which is what President Biden signed a memorandum saying that Secret Service protection for Vice President Harris would extend an additional year through the middle of next year. Donald Trump revoked it. The LAPD, which assigned California Highway Patrol officers to her detail, decided we're no longer going to protect her, essentially, and now she's going to be forced to hire private security to protect her moving forward. Spread the word so more people know. Do a full breakdown of this and more.
Spread the word, y'all.
Subscribe for free. And as always, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come very soon.
Subscribe to Aaron Partners on YouTube, on Instagram. Be sure to follow his Instagram page. Y'all, Donnie is so intimidated by the black woman. Now, in my opinion, I think he has something to do with them not wanting to protect her anymore. But you know what? The retired veterans, men and women, said they would do it for free. When she come to Atlanta, They got her. She ain't got to worry because I'm going to try to make it to that book signing here in Atlanta. Kamala Harris, you ain't got to worry. You ain't have to worry, baby. They got you. God got you. God don't have Donald Trump. He's a reprobated mind. And God do not hear reprobated mind at all. He has deaf ears to Donald Trump and MAGA. So they all voted for Trump. I'm going to let y'all listen to these farmers again. They all voted for Trump, but now they go to God. They said Trump was their savior. Remember that? But now they want to go to God. It's too late, baby. You sold your soul to the devil.
Federal government steps in to save them. Farmers have no one to turn to but God.
Farmers are not getting it's only closer to being anything else on this earth because we deal with your earth every day. You know, we're hurting here. We can't help what's happened to us.
Until the federal government steps in to save them, farmers have no one to turn to but God.
I have no pity for thee. No, I have no remorse for thee. I have no sympathy, empathy, none of it for them. Y'all voted this man in the office, and now what he does, you have nobody to work. He's proud. Donald Trump is proud to have removed the brown people from working in your farms. What the farmers need to do is march up to Washington and play a J6er on that motherfucker. So says the immigrant who doesn't speak proper English shouldn't. Melania should be deported. I'm about to show you something. She want to say something about President Barack Obama's birth certificate. Girl, you don't have American birth certificate. She was like, why doesn't his birth certificate, why isn't it American? Yours not, dummy. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Donald Trump and Melania Trump are two illiterate mothers.
If you want to become an American citizen, you need to put the birth certificate.
Right.
I have a birth certificate from Slovenia. And
but she doesn't have American birth certificate. You PITCH.
I've seen it. It's
not the birth certificate.
Punta! Punta! El Punta! Shut your
damn mouth. If he insists on what he's saying, then no one in Hawaii can ever run for president because they all get the same life birth certificate.
Well, but they need to have
is finished.
Those dumb PITCAs don't even have an American birth certificate.
One way it would be very easy.
She's dumb.
President Obama just show it, and because
see, the only thing Melania Trump being good at is, and Donnie like that. I think Donnie may try that too. She doesn't have a brain. She lied and she went to a university and said she graduated. She did not graduate. She quit. I'm black. I went to college and I graduated. Melania Trump was given things because she did what for Donnie? And she gave him a son. So she really locked that money in. So Trump collapses. I don't know if we're going to have time for this. I got to be getting out of. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I don't know if I want to cover that. We're going to listen to something else. But the other one is too long of a video.
At home, I am an American abroad, and I'd like to bring some perspective to you.
She's beautiful.
21-year-olds in Mexico cannot stop talking about what happened yesterday. The United States has officially fallen off of its pedestal. I mean, whatever part of the pedestal we had left, it is burned to the ground.
Yep.
Yesterday,
thanks to Donnie boy,
in front of the world as Americans with our asses out because there are children who have grown up to become women that are now brave enough to speak out despite having systematic failures in the Justice Department and the media. We have shown
thank you, King V. David.
We have shown the world how frat boy, elitist, politician, power grabbing, Christo fascist, white nationalists are fake it till you make it in the US government, and they're in charge. These perverts that cover for each other are in charge of this country. I don't know if you understand how we don't.
America is sick.
In our lifetime.
Not only did Chris Wray
because of the mediocre white man.
Simone Biles hearings. This is a conspiracy that is global, that the United States of America has actively covered up. We have no ethical backbone anymore. We have no moral high ground. Trump and his little friends that he's covering up for have cost the United States all credibility. That's what it looks like from the outside. And maybe you're inside and you're Epstein it, but you're not Epstein it enough for the world to think that Americans give a shit about justice. So don't expect justice anymore anywhere you go. That little American passport, it's worth jack
It is. It's
shit
worth
now.
zero.
You don't even have a government
Because
that's
of
gonna
Donald
protect you.
Trump.
The only thing that makes that passport powerful is that your government's willing to go get you. Hello, Americans at home. I am an American.
The American dollar is worthless in other countries. Right now, India, China, and Russia have teamed up. And Donnie's mad because he thought he was Putin's favorite girl. Well, Donnie, you ain't using that mouth, right? You got to get better. See, you're old and you're out of practice. Although you hold your mouth like a butthole, you're out of practice. You need to practice on a cucumber like it's an egg. Get your eggplant because you want to suck on an eggplant anyway. You got to be better than that. Got to be faster than that. Donnie, you're out of practice. Putin don't want your head no more. But anyway, Putin, Russia, India, and China has teamed up against America. American dollar is worthless in other countries. We're down bad. And we didn't get to this till Donnie came along again. Along came the spider, the rat, and the snake, all in one. Donald Trump. Donnie, you didn't do something right this time when Putin came to America. When he came to Alaska, you didn't use that mouth properly. You should have deep throat. You're not good at it. You're too slow. You got to be quicker than that.
People realize how quickly Trump is tanking the economy. When Trump took office, he inherited the strongest economy for an incoming president since George W. Bush. Job growth was booming, wages were up, inflation was down, and the stock market was climbing. Fast forward to today, and Trump's tariffs and his economic agenda have thrown everything in reverse. The new jobs report is brutal. The economy added just 22,000 jobs in August, about 50,000 jobs short of expectations. But the revisions for June and July were even worse. For the first time in 4 years, since the last time Trump was president, the economy actually lost jobs. And it's hitting some of our most important industries the hardest. Over the last 3 months, we've lost 31,000 manufacturing jobs, 13,000 mining jobs, and about 10,000 construction jobs. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is raiding factories and stripping legal status from 1 million immigrants, which in their absurd theory was supposed to help the most vulnerable American workers. But black unemployment is now at 7.5%, the highest in 4 years. And youth unemployment for 16 to 24-year-olds is at 10.5%. And it's not just jobs. In July, we also saw one of the biggest monthly spikes in inflation, which is now at its fastest pace in 5 months. And families are feeling it, with back-to-school supplies up 7.3% this year. And to put the cherry on top, after Trump inherited 12 straight quarters of economic growth, our economy actually shrank in the first quarter of this year and has remained slow as consumers brace for even higher prices. A lot of Americans held their noses and voted for Trump, thinking that he'd fix the economy. But like everything else with him, his thirst for power and control has led to utter chaos. And unless we call it out now, he'll continue to lie and drive our economy off the cliff. So share this video and follow me to stay in the loop. I don't think people realize how quickly Trump is tanking the economy. When Trump took office, he
But
inherited
MAGA be all in my chest, celebrating. They saying Donnie does this, Donnie does that, Donnie does this, Donnie does that. But what Donnie have not done is secured our country to be safe. Donnie has not helped us in the grocery stores. Donnie has caused the American dollar to crash, worth nothing in any other country. So when I go on vacation, my dollar is worth nothing. Mexico is pretty much doing better than us right now. Yes, they are. China and Russia and Canada are doing, even some of the Indians are doing business with Mexico. You know we're down bad. When Mexico is doing better than us business-wise, nobody's buying that gold card of Donald Trump. It's worth nothing. Donnie is worth nothing. I don't care how many billions he don't con since he's been in the Oval Office. Crypto mess he got going on, it ain't worth nothing to the ones that bought it. Catch up, MAGA. You're slow. You're illiterate like your boss, your savior, Donald Trump. Uh-oh. For some reason that video is not playing. If I got anything else, because we're going to be getting up out of here. Let's listen to Mike Johnson say this again. You can't make this SHIT up. Because, you know, he's backpedaling what he said about Donnie Boy. So I'm going to play what he said. Then I'm going to go back to what he said today, okay? Uh-oh, hold on.
And that he's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago. And that he's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has
Honey, now what did he do today? He paddled backwards with it. That's what he did. Yes, he did. Let's go back to where he said something different was said. Came from Mike Johnson about being Donnie was a FBI informant. Yeah. He's a rat. Yeah. Donnie is a rat. And that rat be on Putin.
We have some news right now. Mike Johnson is backing off his claim that Donald Trump was an FBI informant, seemingly admitting that he lied about that, saying that he made a mistake.
Hit the like button, please.
Trump is not an FBI informant. That's not surprising. This is the first time we had heard of a claim that Trump was an informant helping the FBI to stop Jeffrey Epstein. It's not true. And I'm really not sure.
That's not the first time, because I showed y'all documentaries here from YouTube about him being an informant. Yeah, boy. And Wolf said that too, that Epstein said that of Donnie. Because Donnie was the one that turned Epstein in. See, Donnie got afraid Epstein was going to spray him with his own ways and his own sins. And Donnie said, I'm going to get you first. I'm a bigger rat than you. Donnie said, I'm a bigger snake and a spider than you. I'm going to get you first, Epstein. But Donnie, when that karma get through with you and the ancestors, yeah, all the black ancestors is attacking Donnie in his sleep. That's why he won't go to sleep. As long as he stay awake, he think they're not going to beat him. You know how they beat the slaves? They're doing it to Donnie. That's why his body is swollen, bruised up. He got dark, swollen marks under his eyes now. His hand is bruised up. He getting his ass whipped that night by the ancestors, the black ancestors. That's why he all bruised up. They tearing him up when he go to sleep. Donnie refused to go to sleep. He's scared. Get him. Get him. Get him. Whip that trick. Whip that trick. Get him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Black people understand that. Get him, ancestors. Yeah, whip that trick real good. Soon as that's why he like to go to sleep around people when he in those office meetings, when he in the meetings in the Oval Office, because y'all, you know, it's people around him, so he feel a little safer. He think that the ancestors, the black ancestors, ain't gonna get him. Donnie, every time you close your eyes, you seeing those black ancestors. It don't matter you're in that Oval Office with your eyes closed. They're gonna tear you apart. Because you're gonna pay the price for what the white ancestors did to black people. Get them. I want to thank y'all for coming to my live. Hit that like button before you leave out of here, okay? Come on. Come on, hillbilly people, MAGA. You can hit that like button too. Take the snuff out your mouth, wipe your hands off, and hit the like button for me, okay? You like coming here looking at this pretty little black girl, and then you go in there and lay on top of your wife, don't you? I know you do, baby. But it could never be me with you. So you gotta pretend and cosplay that your wrinkled wife is as beautiful as me. And I'll be 52. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm 52 years old because I'll be 52 in 2 months. Your wife is in her 48, looking older than me. But you'll come over here and put all rude, nasty stuff in my comments. Just keep coming on over and watching me, baby. You ain't hurting me. You blessing me with your view. Keep blessing me, you freak of leaks. You come over here and wish you could get with me, but you can't. You come over here and talk about my big old lips. I love my big old lips because these lips come from my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, baby. Yes, Jesus was a black man. Hallelujah. Eat me. I want to thank each and all you beautiful people that actually like me and care about me in my chat. Thank you guys for coming over here to bless me. Without you, I wouldn't have my channel. I love each and every last one of y'all. Even the ones that don't like me, they be putting the crazy stuff in my chat. I love you too through the love of God. Because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't love you. So take it that I love you through the love of God. I love each and every last one of y'all. God bless. Good night. I see you tomorrow.